Hey, Vicky. Okay, good. Yes, it's working. Awesome. Um, Welcome, everyone. My name is Laura. I am an improviser and I'm an improv teacher, and I teach other teachers to teach improv. But today, I'm actually not talking to improv teachers. I'm talking to you if you think I have nothing to teach. And if you are, however, an improv teacher, this might be interesting to watch because there are people around you who also have this feeling of I have nothing to teach. And I think I realized that this is an important topic because of the following. I made a workbook that you may or may not know. And in that workbook, I talk about what you could teach. So there are fun little exercises to discover what topics basically live inside of you. What do you know about? What do you maybe not realize is something like a natural talent that you can share with other people? And then to make that into a text or a blurb for your workshop and into a title. Super fun. I've done it now with a bunch of people, and really, really cool things have come out of it. However, I have noticed that the only way I can get people to do the workbook and to do the exercises is first to convince them that they have something to teach. And some of us just don't really have that feeling that we have something to teach. So if that is you, I'm talking to you today. Um, why? Why is that? Why do we think we have nothing to teach? And I think there are many different reasons, but I'm gonna cover three of them today. And the first one, maybe the most important one, is confidence. Now, you might consider yourself a confident person and still think I have nothing to teach. So I think confidence comes in many different ways and in many different aspects of our life. I myself, I might be a confident teacher, but I'm not a very confident cook, right? I bake pancakes if you follow me on Instagram, but that's like the rest I'm not super confident in. But I'm a confident improv teacher. Now, it might be that you feel like a confident improv performer, but not per se that you are very confident as a teacher. So this feeling of like, let me get in front of a bunch of people and tell them how to do things, um, that is a reason why you might not do that. Is because like, oh, I don't really know how to teach. I don't really know how to bring the thing I know into something that people can learn from. Or you might even think, I think I should be a better improviser first before I get to teach anyone anything. Now, this is something I hear a real, like a fair bunch, right? And I think we always underestimate how learning works. That we don't per se need to be amazing in all aspects to be able to teach someone something. So, first, confidence. That might be a reason why you think I have nothing to teach. A second one, and it's not unrelated to the first one, is in your community or in your experience, you may not have people that are like you and that are teaching. So if you have been taught by people who have a particular energy, a particular personality, but like maybe even literally that just don't look like you might not have the feeling that you could be that. So to, for instance, take it to a gender topic, if you have been taught by many male improvisers, you as a female improviser might not feel that you could be that. Now, you would not officially think, like officially, you would not actually think, because I'm a woman, I cannot teach. But to imagine yourself in a particular role, it really helps if you have seen people like you in that role, to imagine that you could be that too. Now, this goes for many things. It goes for instance, if everyone that has been your teacher was like kind of like dominant and very confident in their knowledge, you're like, that's not me. Maybe I'm just not like that. Um, Maybe you think that your stutter will keep you from teaching. All of that might be subconscious. So I think it's good to look at who you admire, respect, who you've had as a teacher, what were they like, and is there a possibility that all of them show something that you feel that you don't have? Which again, this connects to the confidence thing. Yeah, did you have role models? Because if you haven't, of course you feel like you couldn't be teaching. And the third thing is the feeling of scarcity. Now, let me explain this because I think this goes into many different directions. I could probably talk about just the concept of scarcity for another hour, so I'm going to try to not do that. But scarcity is like a feeling of scarcity means that you think that there are only that many teaching spots, that there are only that many students, that there are only that many space available for the people who want to do something. So, for instance, if you feel I have nothing to teach because there are already so many teachers in the city that I work in, or I'm not teaching because the one improv school that is in my country, there are plenty of people who are like that. There's only one improv school in my country, and you only if you're not teaching there, you cannot be teaching. And I've also heard it internationally. To go like there are already so many people that apply for teaching at international festivals. Like my application in there will just it will not even be seen. So this feeling that there's only a limited number of something, that there's only one, let's say, pie, and all the different pieces of pie have already been accounted for, and therefore you don't get the piece of the pie. That's a scarcity belief. And I think it's good to notice it in yourself when you find the reasons why you're not teaching. Is it maybe because I believe that there's only that much space available? So, all right, so now I've mentioned 3 things that could be reasons why you feel, or why someone you know feels that they have nothing to teach. But what to do about that? And I think the most important thing is what I'm doing right now, which is hopefully making you become aware of it. So can we become aware of what we tell ourselves? A very good friend of mine is a very experienced improviser. She lives in Amsterdam, and I have always heard her say that she wasn't a teacher. And that's very interesting because until recently, and she commented on me doing this Facebook Live as, ooh, this topic hits home for me. And I found that really interesting because I realized by her saying that she isn't a teacher, I also started believing she wasn't one. And now that I think about it, I really want to learn from her because she has a really particular style. So the awareness of, am I keeping myself from it for whatever reason, for a confidence reason, for I don't identify the same as most teachers, I think that there's only that much space in the community. Those are reasons that might keep you from teaching. And if you, I am back. I talked in the previous video about 3 reasons why you think I have nothing to teach. And what I now wanted to do is to talk about what to do about that. So what I already mentioned in the previous video is first to become aware, which by doing videos like this, I'm trying to make you do that, but also just to reflect for yourself if you or a person you know is thinking about is thinking that they might not have something to teach. It's really good to think about what are the reasons behind it and what does it sound like, right, of the things that I just mentioned. And the second thing that I wanted to do before I got cut off in my previous video is by starting to do. And this feels super scary, so I'm not going to underestimate that, especially if you feel you have nothing to teach. But consider doing, and there are many reasons for that. And one of them is when you start doing in whatever easy or with very low expectations, you also start discovering that how you say something or what you bring, there are people waiting for your particular view. And if you, for instance, feel you're very inexperienced and you feel like, who am I to teach this thing that other people have so much more knowledge about? That is really interesting because there will be students who will say, wow, I've heard people say this and this so many times, but now that you've said it, or now you've put me in this exercise like this, I feel suddenly like I understand. And it's those moments that it's so important to expose yourself to that, to have other people tell you the way you say something or the way you make me think about something is really resonating with me. And the only way you get to be in that position is if, for instance, oh my god, it's gonna be, I don't know if you really hear it as loud as I do, but there is a huge drill in the back. Oh my god. Oh, this is perfect, friends. This is just perfect. All right, I'm gonna try to finish it ASAP to see if I can go on without that drill in the background. By doing, you discover what makes you unique. And so, is there a way to, for instance, put you in front of the colleagues of your spouse that have a day off? Maybe that's too scary, or maybe you can have like 3 friends come over that you try and exercise with. Maybe you can offer. There it is. There's the drill again. You have 3 friends that you can, or you can offer it to your group that you're rehearsing with, to try to get yourself into the position where you put your stuff forward, and then give people the opportunity to tell you what resonates with them. And it might be that some of your stuff doesn't resonate, but some of it is uniquely you, and it will connect to people who are looking for that way. So awareness is one thing you can do, but the second thing is doing. And I know it's scary, but what's the smallest, tiniest way to start doing? Yes. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to quote a friend of mine who had this very similar feeling of I have nothing to teach. And then she said, after every workshop, I feel more confident that I know what I'm doing. Workshop by workshop, I just get better. And I think that's a really, really good one. Now, another last little tip that also connects to the workbook that basically started this Facebook Live in the beginning is the first exercise of my workbook asks you things like, what do people tell you after shows? Or what is something that comes easy to you? Or what is a thing that you think improvisers should do better? Within you, there are all these topics that live inside of you, and you don't have that reflection yet. Because, for instance, for confidence, now give it an opportunity to put it out on paper. You don't have to do it yet. You don't have to put it on the front of your website yet. But give yourself little steps of trying it out, seeing what people feel. Maybe after you've written it down, show it to someone. You can always show it to me. And see if you can make tiny mini steps from I have nothing to teach to, who knows, maybe if I work really hard, if I try my best, maybe there is something, because I think there is. All right. Thank you for bearing with me and for following me into 2 different live sessions, including a poltergeist. And if you want to hang out in the comments and ask me questions, please do. And if you want to get a hold of that workbook I've been talking about, it's free. So why not? See in the comments, so I'll put it also in these comments. It's lauradoorneweerd.com/free workbook. And I hope to see you next week, again on a Thursday at 2 p.m. Central European Time. And then we'll talk some other things. Bye-bye!